So to do question n, we have to try and get the x squared on its own. To do that, we have to get rid of this minus 4. So we add 4 to the left and we add 4 to the right. So on the right hand side, 28 add 4 is 32. On the left hand side, the minus 1 of plus 4 cancels out, leaving with just 2x squared. And we just copy the sign down. Now we have to get rid of this times 2 to get x squared on its own. So we will divide both sides by 2. Now on the left hand side, the times 2 and the divide 2 cancels out, leaving just x squared. On the right hand side, 32 divided by 2 is 16, and we just copy the sign down. Now don't forget, x squared equals 16 has two solutions, x is equal to 4 and x is equal to minus 4. The positive solution is easy, so we just write x, copy the sign and write the 4. But for the negative solution, we have to change the sign. Now the final answer will look like this. So copy the x down. Now I can see x has to be greater than minus 4. So I can do this, x has to be greater than minus 4. And I can also see x has to be less than 4. So we can just write it like this. Now because I can see negative 4, on my number line, I'm going to write negative 4, and I can see positive 4, so I'm going to write positive 4. So this bit's telling me that x has to be greater than negative 4. So draw a circle, and it's going to be open circle with no equal sign there, and the arrow would start going that way. And this bit's telling me that x has to be less than 4. So again, open arrow, open circle, because it's not shaded in because there's no equal sign. So x has to be less than 4, so the arrow has to go this way. So that's the final answer. So the number line will be like this, and the equation, the solution of the equation is there. So question O now. So because we want to get the x squared and so on, the first thing we have to do is get rid of this minus 9 on the left. So to do that, we have to add 9 to both sides. So on the left hand side, the minus 9 and the plus 9 cancels out, leaving me with just 3x squared. But what's 66 add 9 for the right? So 66 add 9 is 75. And then just copy the sign down. And now to get the x squared and so on, we have to get rid of this times 3. So we have to divide by 3 on both sides. So now on the left hand side, the times 3 and the divider cancels out, leaving with just x squared. On the right hand side, we've got 75 divided by 3, which is 25, and we just copy the sign down. And don't forget, x squared equals 25 has two solutions, x is equal to 5 or x is equal to minus 5. So the positive solution is very easy. X has to be equal to or greater than 5, and for the negative solution, so write comma there, for the negative solution, x has to be, we're going to change the sign, x has to be less than or equal to minus 5. So how do you show this on the number line? So on the number, so this was the solution to the equation. So because I can see 5 and minus 5 and 5, so this bit here tells me x has to be equal to or greater than 5. So x has to be equal to or greater than 5 means the arrow has to go this way. And this bit here tells me x has to be equal to or less than minus 5. So we have to shade it in with the equal sign, and it's less than minus 5, so the arrow goes this way. Just compare what we've done here with question O to the previous question, question N. Now if you just understand these two questions, hopefully pretty much everything else should be easier. So the question P, we just have to find the square root of 100. And don't forget, x squared equals 100 has two solutions. X is equal to 10 or x is equal to minus 10, because minus 10 times minus 10 is equal to 100. So there are two solutions. The positive solution is very easy, so just square both sides and we will get x has the same sign and the square root is 100. So of 100 is 10. So that's the easy bit. But for the negative bit, write x and minus 10, but we have to flip the sign like this. So whenever the left hand side is, or the x square is, if the x square side is bigger than the other side, then our answer will always look like this. We'll separate the two bits with a comma like that. Now how do I do that on the number line? So because I can see 10 and minus 10, on my number line I write minus 10 and I write 10. So this bit here told me that x has to be equal to or greater than 10. So draw a circle and shade it in because there's an equal sign. And because it has to be greater than 10, the arrow will go like this. And this bit here tells me x has to be equal to or less than 10. So we draw the shade like this, and it was equal, shaded, and less than 10. So this is how it look on the number line. So for question Q, we have to square root both sides. So x, copy the sign down, and you need a calculator for this. Square root 2.25 is 1.5, and so square root of 2.25 is just 1.5, and that's a positive answer. So don't forget, when you have x squared equals 2.25, there are two solutions. One is the positive one, which is x is equal to 1.5, and the negative one where x is equal to minus 1.5. So the positive solution is easy, just copy the same sign, but for the negative solution we have to change the sign like so. And because the x squared side is less than the other side, I have to write it in this form here. So x, I can see here that x has to be greater than minus 1.5, and I can see here that x has to be less than 1.5, so I'll just write it like this. So this here is the solution. Now because I can see x is equal to 1.5, I'm gonna write 1.5, and x has to be less than 1.5. So draw the circle, don't shade it in because there's no equal sign, and the arrow will start going this way. Then I can see x has to be greater than minus 1.5. So write minus 1.5 and draw the circle, don't shade it in because there's no equal sign, and it has to be greater, so the arrow goes this way. So this will be the answer on the number line. So question R, so we have to just square root both sides, and you might want to use calculator for this. So if we have x squared is equal to 0.25, there are two solutions. X is equal to 0.5 or x is equal to minus 0.5, because when you do minus 0.5 times minus 0.5 you get positive 0.25. So those are two easy solutions. Now the positive one is easy, you just copy the sign down like this, and for the negative one you have to flip the sign like this. So the answer will be written like this, and a comma. Now because I can see 0.5 and minus 0.5, so I can see this 0.5 minus 0.5, on my number line I'll have minus 0.5 and positive 0.5. Now this bit here tells me x has to be, or same thing here, x has to be greater than or equal to 0.5. So I draw my circle and I shade it because there's equal sign and it has to be greater, so the arrow goes this way. And then this tells me x has to be equal to or less than minus 0.5, so equal to or less than, so therefore it's shaded and the arrow goes like this. And this is the answer on the number line, and this is the solution. So question S, to find the solution we have to try and get the x on its own, so that means get rid of the negative 5 here. So how do you do that? We have to add 5 to both sides. So on the left hand side, the minus 5 and the plus 5 cancels out, then we're just x squared, and on the right hand side we've got 76, add 5 which is 81, and then just copy the sign down. So we want to find the square root of 81, so don't forget the square root of 81. So when you have x squared equals 81, x can be positive answer which is 9 or negative answer which is minus 9, because minus 9 to minus 9 is still equal to 81, positive 81. So for the positive solution we just copy the sign down and just write 9, but for the negative solution we have to flip the sign. And now because this side here, the x squared side was less, we will write our answer like this. We can see x squared has to be greater than minus 9, so x has to be greater than minus 9, so x has to be greater than minus 9, and we can see x has to be less than 9. So to put the signs in, and because I can see minus 9 and 9, I put them on number line, and because they're both equal I'm going to shade them in. So this bit here tells me that x has to be greater than or equal to minus 9, so greater than will go that way, the arrow, and this bit tells me x has to be less than 9, equal to or less than 9, so the arrow is going to go this way. So this is how the answer would look as a solution, and this is how the answer would look on the number line. So to get the solution we have to square root both sides. So the positive solution is just easy, x can be 0. The negative solution we have to change the sign, and there is no real negative solution. You can't write negative 0, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So because it's 0, we just draw 0 on the number line, and this bit tells me x has to be greater than 0. So, and there's no equal sign, so we don't want to shade it in, so we draw a circle and just greater, and then this bit here tells me x is less than 0, so the arrow goes like this. So the solution on the number line is this. Now I forgot to write my solution, and the solution written down as an equation, we don't leave it just like that. So because I can see x has to be greater than 0 and x has to be less than 0, I can write it like this. So this bit here, x has to be less than 0, and that bit there tells me x has to be greater than 0, so write like this with a comma in between. So don't forget this bit here, I didn't write minus 0, it doesn't really make sense, we just write 0. Normally if it was 3 I would have written minus 3 here, if it was 4 I would have written minus 4 here, but with 0 we don't really write minus 0. So this is the final solution. So this is a solution in the algebraic solution to the problem, and this is how we write it on a number line.